All right, we're live.
Hi, everybody. It is Ian and Leilani. Welcome, welcome. How's it going? Hope you guys are having a great week so far. We are having a wonderful week. We're really excited to be, working with you guys, making new friends, hanging out with old friends, and just forming a community. This is good stuff. We're really excited. We're going to kind of chat a little bit in the beginning to give everyone a chance to jump on. So we're just going to kind of recap, I guess, right now, right, Ian? Just talk a little bit.
I would give a recap of maybe last video, and then we can get started here in just a minute.
Awesome. So yeah, last week was really great. Our first Facebook Live here in the group. It was a lot of fun. We actually just came on really to share with you guys like what the group is all about, what each of our roles within the group are, and just really get it going. So super excited to be with you guys here today. And we are going to share with you one of the major questions we get asked, which is, how do I get started on the exchanges? I know a lot of you guys know about Bitcoin, you know about Ethereum, maybe Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash, all the basic coin-based currencies, right? But some of us don't know anything about altcoins, or maybe are just learning about alternative coins and really don't know how to get started within that market. So we have Ian Davies, who specializes in that, and he's going to teach you guys how to do that today. And aside from that, or along with that, it's really exciting because we have some extra information for you at the end of this Facebook Live that he is going to get you hip to. So that was like old people talk, get you hip. Something that my grandpa used to say. But yeah. So what else, Ian? I mean, that's pretty much what we're going to cover, right?
Yeah. Just want to give people a quick walkthrough on how to find, if you're out there and you're just getting introed into the cryptocurrency world, you probably have a few resources, or maybe you're just relying on your friends for what to buy, and you may not necessarily know how to go about doing that. Let me preface what I'm saying by, if you haven't purchased any Bitcoin yet, the first thing you need to do is go to Coinbase.com if you're a US resident. That's the easiest and simplest way for you to do this. This is for everybody who has some Bitcoin at this point. Now, we will have some videos available for all of you in the future that'll give you complete start to finish, even if you don't have Coinbase. We're happy to help you guys figure that out. But this is for those of you who already own Bitcoin and you don't know what to do with it yet. You want to start diversifying and buying some other cryptocurrencies. So I'll walk you through the exchanges that I use on a daily basis, where I get my trade ideas and coin information, and then share some really cool my conspiracy theories on what's going on with Bitcoin over the last several weeks. So I'm excited to do that, share that with you guys.
Which seems like there's been quite a bit going on with Bitcoin these past few weeks.
Yeah.
That's had a lot of us a little stressed out and a little excited, a little bit back and forth.
For sure. Yeah, a lot of people running around pulling their hair out. The good thing is the longer you're in this cryptocurrency world, the easier it is to handle this kind of volatility. You just got to understand that the volatility is our friend. That's how we're able to make such high returns that you see in cryptocurrency. There's cryptocurrencies that skyrocketed 25 to 30,000% last year. I mean, that's incredible. Yeah. So
that's for anything outside of this world, right? Like cryptocurrency. I mean, I've never heard of numbers like that before.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally, making $100 investment and in a year, having $15-20 million from that one investment. So, I mean, that's huge.
Wow.
Absolutely huge.
Wow. Before you jump in, Ian, I want to just let everyone know, so we're on a special platform that we're just getting acquainted with, guys, to be able to have both of us here. So right now, you may be in the comments. We want you to definitely comment. You heard probably my background noise checking on my phone. If you guys could see us and hear us, and that looks good, but I can't watch the phone while I'm here with you. So we'll save the comment answering till later after the video is posted. We'll go back in the comments and answer all your questions and respond. So feel free to comment. Just don't think like, why aren't they getting to our comments? We can't actually see them right now. All right, so I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away, and I'm going to try my best, guys, to be your question person. What you would ask Ian when I have a question, I'll just jump right in there and ask it for us all.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, for those of you out there watching, just keep in mind we are a part of a closed group. So if you have friends that you want to share this with, please do share that, but send them to the Crypto Training Academy page first, and that way they'll have access to the video. Otherwise, they won't be able to see it. So please do that. And I'm going to screen my share with you. Screen my share. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm going to share my screen with you guys in just a moment. It'll just be my face on the screen. Leilani, you'll still have audio, so if you need to ask a question, feel free to interrupt me if you think something needs more clarity for all of our viewers.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ian.
So bear with me here just a moment. I'm going to just get everything on the back end set up so I can, share my screen. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just put a little mini Leilani on the screen. How about that?
That's awesome. I love it.
All right. So how about that? There we go.
I'm really excited about this training, Ian, for myself, because right now I think I'm just signed up for 3 or 4 exchanges. So yeah, I'll probably be taking notes.
So I can actually see thumbs up and hearts. Can you guys, anybody out there that's viewing, can you give a thumbs up or a heart that you can actually see my screen right now? So just keep tapping the thumbs up button if you can see my screen, and that would be really helpful. So I'm going to wait around just for a moment to make sure everybody can see my screen. Okay, it looks like we're good. So first things first, I want to talk with you guys about how to find different cryptocurrencies. And if it's a major cryptocurrency, you know, top 5, top 10, you can pretty much get access to it on any exchange. But there are some cryptocurrencies that are not available on every exchange. So I want to show you guys, if you come across the crypto that you're interested in buying, what you would need to do to either buy it and hold it long term, or if you want to dabble into actually trading and taking some profits more short term, what you would need to do that. So the website I'm on now is called coinmarketcap.com. And once the video is all over, we will give you a recap of all the websites that I listed. So I'll post links later for everybody to have. But coinmarketcap.com is an overview of every cryptocurrency, mostly every cryptocurrency available for purchase as of right now. And what it does is it rates these cryptocurrencies based on the total market cap, which is basically how much money in the world has been invested into that cryptocurrency at this very moment in time. So Bitcoin is number 1. And there's almost $200 billion in Bitcoin currently. And it's cool because it shows you the average price over all of global markets and then the volume per day. So there's been almost $17 billion in volume. But anybody watching this video should have a basic understanding of how to get Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, because those are all available on Coinbase. I want to touch on 4 exchanges today, and just how to quickly navigate through those. So let's say, for instance, you've probably heard about Ripple recently in the news. It's got a lot of attention for being used as a transactional coin, and there's a lot of big corporations that are testing out Ripple's technology right now. And so a lot of people have been interested in purchasing Ripple to hold on to long term. So from coinmarketcap.com, you saw I clicked on Ripple. And the next thing you're going to want to do is on this page, it just gives you a brief overview of what Ripple is. It'll give you a link to the website and some chats to access, a message board. Really valuable content here. If you've got some time, I would advise you to dive into these links and to the social tab here for up-to-date information on any coin you're interested in. And that's what makes CoinMarketCap such a great resource, is that you can find all of the backlinks and get really good updates on any cryptos you're interested in. But for the focus of today's of live, we want to talk about markets. And when I click on this markets tab, you'll see here, it gives me a list of every available market that I can buy Bitcoin. And it will usually sort by volume in terms of US dollar, how much volume is being exchanged in a 24-hour period. That's another important fact. Every number you're seeing on CoinMarketCap is a 24-hour period number, so it'll fluctuate every day. If you want to buy Ripple, the major exchanges that you have access to as a US-based citizen are going to be, let's see, in order of trade volume. We've got Binance here, which I'm going to go over in a minute. We have Poloniex, Kraken, and Bittrex. And these are all 4 exchanges that I use pretty much on a daily basis. And I will walk you through kind of what those look like so you can at least be comfortable once you get signed up to these exchanges. And once you're in there, you know where to navigate and how to handle the day-to-day routine. So the first one is Bittrex. And this is more popular among day traders, people who are actively trading the crypto markets, at least in the United States. This is one of the more popular exchanges for day trading activity. Poloniex is very popular as well. But Bittrex is really nice and neat. It's clean and it's simple to understand. This is the front page, which is really cool because it tells you all of the top volume and biggest gaining coins. And you can see them categorized by the different markets that they're in. So you've got Bitcoin markets, and you've got Ethereum markets, and you've got USDT. And USDT is basically a tether to the US dollar. What these markets represent for you guys is basically any cryptocurrency that you want to buy using Bitcoin, you're going to go to these markets. But if you'd rather use Ethereum, you can go to this list of markets here. And if you'd rather use US dollar tether, you can choose from these markets down here. Now, the advantage of using US dollar tether is that the US dollar tether doesn't fluctuate very much. It's pretty much always going to be pegged at a value of $1 to $1.05, whereas Bitcoin can fluctuate and make trading for new people a little bit harder. But in terms of just buying and holding, which is what most of you are going to do right now, you want to just stick with Bitcoin. So let's go to the Bitcoin Ripple market and see what that looks like when I click on that and how I would potentially make a purchase for Ripple. So we'll give this a second to load. But like I said earlier, you want to make sure you have a Coinbase. You've already purchased Bitcoin on Coinbase, or you've purchased Ethereum or Litecoin. One of those three are fine for buying other cryptocurrencies on any exchange. They're going to have those 3.
Sorry, I thought it was still loading. I totally interrupted, but I was saying while you wait for it to load. Oh, I don't think you can hear me. It's delayed.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, while you wait for it to load, you should tell your business partner, Massimo, what's the angry face about? Does he want to do today's video?
Did he post an angry face?
Yeah, I said, who gave Ian an angry face? And I looked at the name, and it was Massimo. I was like, you hater.
So every exchange...
Sorry, go on.
That's all right. Every exchange is going to be structured a little bit differently, and I'll show you, once I'm done through Bittrex, we'll go over to Poloniex, and I'll show you what Ripple looks like on there. But they're all going to have some sort of charting analysis here available to you, where you can basically see the price action and the volume, which means how many Ripple have been traded within each candle on the chart. And if you remember, if you watched my video on Bitcoin Breakthrough page, at Bitcoin Breakthrough on Facebook, you'll remember that each candle represents a certain time frame. And on this chart, each candle represents a 30-minute time frame. So I can see on this candle here that there was a lot of buying, a big long green candle within that 30-minute period. And so you can kind of use this, you can change it if you wanted, if you'd rather it be a line chart. For those of you new, line chart is probably easier to read. And you can even zoom out and make it a daily chart so you can see each period showing as a single day. So now each candle represents a 1-day time, 24-hour time period. Over in the next tab, you've got the order book, and this is just a bird's eye view of if you stacked all the money ready to buy or sell Ripple on top of each other, what would that look like? And on the left side in the green, you've got buyers listed here, and on the right side on the red, you've got sellers listed. So that's just a quick and easy way to look and see kind of what direction the market is going in. Right now, it looks like Ripple is going up over the last day or two. The important part for you to know right now is you want to go to the trading section. So if you're interested in buying Ripple, you want to come down here where you see it says buy Ripple. And if you have a Bitcoin balance, you'll see it listing the balance available in your trade account, meaning I can buy up to half of a Bitcoin worth of Ripple right now. And then on the right side, I have sell Ripple. So I currently have 750 Ripple. I'm not going to disclose everything I have, but obviously I want you guys to see how this would actually function. So if I wanted to buy Ripple right now, I need to, one, I need to understand where I want to buy at. You know, where are you comfortable buying? What are your objectives long term? If you're just going to hold Ripple for a long time, I would say you can come in here and you know, you might be ready to buy 100 Ripple. So you'll just put that number in the units, and then go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I just have a quick question about Ripple, because a lot of people have been asking me about buying Ripple. Would you say that Ripple is just kind of up there like Bitcoin and Ethereum at this point, as far as like buying, and that one of those that you should have?
You know, that's personal. That's really a personal matter of personal opinion. Personally, I see value in Ripple for a centralized unit of exchange that operates quicker and with more transparency than anything in the banking industry right now. But unfortunately, it is centralized, and that's the downside I see to it. It's not truly decentralized.
Awesome, awesome. Which brings me to, I forgot to do our disclaimer. These are, this whole video is our opinions. We're not financial advisors. And read the page disclaimer as well, the full disclaimer. But thanks for sharing that, because we do get asked about Ripple a lot here lately.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's all over the news, so that makes sense. But, you know, if you want to take small, and if you want to make small investments in a lot of cryptocurrencies out there that are popular, that you feel bring good value to just the global economy in general, even if it's not decentralized, you know, build a small portfolio and just start with something small. I mean, 100 Ripple is going to cost you $156 right now. So that's a very small investment. If it goes back up to that $3 range that it did before, then you've doubled your money right there, and you can take some profits and buy more Ripple if that's what you feel like you want to do.
Awesome.
So very, very, very simple. So I've entered in my Ripple here, and I want to buy 100, and I have this option where it says price. For simplicity's sake, if you haven't learned how to day trade yet, then you just want to do either last or ask. Ask is going to fill your bid pretty much immediately. That means that the ask is whatever a seller is asking for the Ripple, you're willing to pay for it. And then simply just make sure that this order is set to limit and hit buy. And what that will do is it'll place an order for this price. And once that price shows up down here or less, that order will fill, and you'll go ahead and you'll be the owner of 100 Ripple. And so that's pretty much how that works. On the next exchange, Poloniex, as you can see, it's got a completely different design and layout. But it's got a chart layout here so you can see what's going on. This is a Bitcoin. Let me go to Ethereum, Ripple. This is a Ripple chart. And you can zoom in if you want to zoom in on the last, if you want to zoom in on the last week of Ripple versus the US dollar, you can see right now it's trading around $1.46. And same thing, if you want to come in here and you want to buy Ripple, you just type in the amount of Ripple that you want to buy right here where it says amount, and you type in the price that you want to pay. So let's say I don't want to pay $1.47. I want to wait till it hits $1.45. You can actually type that in and you click buy, and it will put an order on the books for you that will only execute once it hits that price. So if you think the price is going to go down, or you just want to wait for however long it takes for it to get to that price you have set in your head, you can do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So one thing I want to point out to you guys is on Poloniex and Bittrex, you have access to several hundred different coins. On the right-hand side here, you'll see all of these names coming down the right-hand side, and then the coin abbreviations on the left. And these are all the available coins to trade just on the Poloniex exchange. Bittrex, same thing. All you need to do is just go up here to the Markets tab, and it will drop down, and you can just search for whatever you want. So you would search the abbreviation XRP or ETC for Ethereum Classic. If you don't know how to find it, its abbreviation for the coin that you want to buy, just go back to CoinMarketCap, and up here at the top you'll see a search bar, and you just type in whatever you're interested in. So Substratum, and you see that the abbreviation is sub. So you would go to Bittrex and you would type in sub, and we'll see, okay, Bittrex does not have sub. So what exchange is it available on? So then I go back to CoinMarketCap and I click on that Markets tab, and I see, oh, here we go, I can buy it on Binance. Binance is becoming one of the most popular exchanges out there right now because for the last month or so, Bittrex and Kraken, up until a few days ago, had been closed down on new user registrations. And Poloniex is open, but again, they have a limited amount of coins available. If you consider, hundreds of coins limited. And
let me ask you, interject real quick. So I just had a friend of mine I was trying to get set up on Binance today, and now Binance is backed up as well.
Yeah.
And not taking on new registration. At least that's what it was this morning. So my question to you is, for people who haven't started getting set up on exchanges yet, what would you say is the best way to stay updated and keep, getting set up on these exchanges that make them wait? Should they just go to new ones? Yeah, just go ahead and expand on that if you could.
Yeah, that's a great question. If I were you, what I would do is I would go back to CoinMarketCap, and actually I take that back. What I would do is I would go to Twitter.
Okay.
Go to Twitter and then just search for instance, I can go in here and type in Binance, and I would find their actual page. Let's see if it comes up here. Yeah, so here's Binance's page. So then I would come to Binance's page, and then I would follow them. So I would click the follow button. I can't believe I wasn't already following Binance. And then what I would do is send them a message too. I would say, hey, click on the message button and say, hey, I'm interested in signing up. Can you please keep me updated as to when new users will be able to open an account? And then from there, you'll get a message when you'll get an alert from Binance
That's
when they
awesome.
have new user registration. So that's really the best way to do that if you're waiting for Binance and these other exchanges to open back up.
Thank you.
Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, no problem. So again, on Binance, very similar layout. It just, they like to use funky, colorful, bright colors. This is a candlestick chart over here on the left. This set of numbers over here, these are all the different bids. And I'm currently looking at IOTA. And you'll see the current price in Bitcoin. And then over here is the current price in US dollar. And you'll see all the bids that come in. But really, you just want to know how to buy and sell. You're always going to come down. If you don't see a buy or sell area, look for limit. And then somewhere around there, you should see buy. So you see where it says buy IOTA. I don't have much of a balance on here, which is really irrelevant. But you just put in the amount, again, you want to buy. And it will automatically calculate the amount of Bitcoin you need to buy that coin. And you can adjust the price. So if you want to spend more or less than this number here, which is the current market price, you'll just adjust that down there. So if I just want to pay a flat 0.0002 Bitcoin, I'll reduce that, and then I'll hit buy, and that'll place my order amongst this list of other orders out here, and it will just stay out in order land until the price reaches that level. So that's kind of a quick overview of how to navigate through the buy and sell sections of a given exchange, how to just identify where the charts are. That's going to be a very, very basic introduction to exchanges, and in the future we'll get more into looking at these order books and what these the stacking means, and these sell walls and buy walls, all that really intricate stuff in the future.
That is awesome. That is really in depth, really awesome. I want to ask you just as a recap from like a learning perspective. I love that what we learned about Twitter. I'm going to implement that today for sure. I just want to make sure, and you may have already spoke on this, but I want to make sure top exchanges, if I'm just getting started, what would you suggest? 3 top exchanges, as long as they're open, of course. What should I be on right now as of today?
As of today, well, the only one that I would recommend that is open to get on is going to be Kraken.
Kraken, okay.
And that's this Kraken. And I didn't navigate through that one because we're getting limited on time here, but they are open. They're taking registrations as far as I know.
Wonderful.
And then from there, the next 2 I recommend are Binance and Bittrex. Those would be my top 3.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So before Ian gets into his next bonus topic, which I'm really excited because I'm going to be hearing about it for the first time as well. So I'm very, very excited about this. I want to make sure that all of you guys are posting any questions that you have in the chat, like any questions or comments, because even though we're not going to get to it right now, as soon as we post this video, we'll get right back to it and make sure we get on those questions. So make sure you comment and ask any questions that you'd like. And then I want to hear all about from Ian, for all of us, the little nuggets you have about Bitcoin.
Yeah, so I will definitely share with you guys my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So what you're looking at is a chart of Bitcoin, and there's a lot going on this chart. So I want to take that away for a moment so you can just kind of see where we've been over the last, basically almost the last 2 months. And so this is a price chart of Bitcoin. What we're looking at, each candle represents a 4-hour time frame. And up in this section at the very top, the very peak of this mountain range, you're seeing where Bitcoin peaked on December the 17th. And so I've been doing a lot of research and talking with a lot of other traders and people who have far more experience and been in the game far longer than I have, to provide some insight on what has been happening to Bitcoin and the price falling so low since December 17th. And I think I've come up with a pretty good I'll call it a conspiracy theory because this is by no means educated or investment advice, but it's my theory as to what's going on and happening behind the scenes. So I want to bring back these drawings and kind of show you guys what they mean real quick, and we'll kind of go in a series of events that I think when I'm done will make sense to you why Bitcoin is where it is, and why we keep going through this battle. So if you guys remember, earlier in the year, we had some announcements around Halloween that CME, which is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, was going to launch Bitcoin future contracts. And basically, that's a legitimate way for any investor to log on to TD Ameritrade or their Fidelity account and bet on the price of Bitcoin at a future date. And they can basically invest in Bitcoin without actually having to come in and touch it. And so that announcement drove the price of Bitcoin up all the way into early December. And then on December, right here on December 1st, right where you see this big chat bubble, I have a note here that says CBOE Bitcoin futures announcement. And this is when the second exchange, CBOE, announced that they had futures contracts going to be available later in December. And literally right when that announcement came in, you see this large green candle right here that is where Wall Street just started diving in. This is my conspiracy. Wall Street started diving in and buying the rumor. They have this saying in Wall Street that goes, buy the rumor, sell the news. And so Wall Street will buy these rumors and drive the price up. And once the news comes out, which is when the mainstream catches wind of it, they start to sell and they start to take profits. So all through this big stretch, Bitcoin's going up, 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 all the way until it hits right around the 3rd, so about 3 days, we have this nice price increase. Right around the 3rd, people start selling off a little bit, taking profits, because we're still at a point where, 11,954, that $12,000 mark was an all-time high for us. So people are taking profits along the way because they're like, man, how much further can this thing go? Well, 2 days later, TD Ameritrade announces that they're going to allow their customers to buy Bitcoin futures. And then, boom, you have this huge burst of buying right here. Again, this is Wall Street. This is Wall Street buying the rumor. These aren't even confirmed yet. There's no dates here. They're buying the rumor, pushing the price up. And then what you have let me see what date this was again. On 12/11 is the day of the first CBOE Bitcoin futures contract. This is the day that it starts. And you'll notice that on this day, Bitcoin's price goes up just a little bit, but then starts to consolidate and come down. What happened here, and I'll highlight this circle, what I believe happened, as in this period of time, where I'm flashing, is showing you where the public came in and they read the news about CBOE, Bitcoin futures contracts launching, and they said, man, this thing is going to go to the moon. Bitcoin's going to be 50K. I'm going to buy in. And so you got all these people buying in above $18,000, pushing the price up on this exchange. This is OKCoin, all the way up to $22,000. On the American exchanges, it didn't get quite that high, but on some foreign exchanges like OKCoin, it did. And so you see this huge push by the general public. Every uneducated schmo out there that bought Bitcoin up here, unfortunately, has been pulling their hair out ever since.
Yeah.
And that's just been the case. So we reach an all-time high, and then literally hours later, CME, the largest exchange in the world, launches their Bitcoin futures contract right here on this rocket ship. The general sentiment of Wall Street when this futures contract launched was that everybody and I say everybody as in the majority of Wall Street wanted to short Bitcoin. Because literally they had been pushing the price up. They knew that it was selling at a premium. Over almost the last 3 weeks, they spent pushing that price up as we're going through the holidays. Everybody's feeling great, feeling good, pushing the price
Right.
up. Bitcoin's doing awesome. And then boom, literally the moment the Bitcoin futures contract on CME, the largest exchange in the world, that's important, launches, the price takes a huge hit. It goes from, on this exchange, it goes from 22,000 down to 19,008. So it almost takes a $25 to $3,000 hit. And then over several weeks, as you can see, we've been going in this back and forth pattern where the price will go up, come back down. They'll let it shoot back up and come back down. And literally what this is Wall Street is taking their profits at these high points. They're letting the price come down, 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 down. And right at here, at the peak of this candle, at the lowest point they could drive it, they started buying it back up super cheap. And then about halfway through, the public starts buying again and they sell. And the price, so you go through this continual process where these Wall Street, big whales, investment bankers, venture capitalists are manipulating the price of Bitcoin as best they can. And so
I'm sorry to interrupt. Explain to everyone who doesn't know what a whale is, what that is, if you don't mind.
Yeah, whale is just, you can define it how you want, but a whale is just anybody with a big enough position in the market to actually manipulate the price to some extent. If I have a big enough balance of Bitcoin that I can add one of these big red candles that would influence people to sell, that would scare people enough to want to sell after I make that move,
right?
Then I'm a whale. And most of the players in Wall Street are that.
That's incredible.
So you have to pay attention to that sort of stuff. You have to think about when price goes up this drastically over a 3-week period, who stands to benefit from that? Because it's not the hopeful guys that don't know anything that are just buying because they think it's going to continue to go up, because it always gets cut down and profits get taken out. So you have to remember who stands to benefit. And the bigger benefit was going to be once this CME Bitcoin future contract launched, you actually stand to make a lot more money seeing Bitcoin's price come down from that high of a price than you do to see it continue to go up. That's just the way that the contracts are structured. So now this last line here is the expiration of the first CBOE contract, which started over here on December 11th, and it just finished yesterday. So literally what you have, why we had this big pump down and you had everybody slamming their heads against the wall over the last 2 days, it's probably a couple of things, but I think the biggest reason is because you have all these contracts coming to an end, and the Wall Street is basically cashing in and selling the Bitcoin that they have, and then down here buying it back up to kind of start the process over again. And so right now we're kind of at a critical turning point to see, what the market influencers, what the whales will do. But if you've watched my other videos before, you know that I like to put little markers on where the market would like to go. And right now, I've drawn this little ellipse over here. All of these bars represent where price has spent the most time. And typically before we go to a new level, before we break this high, we want to see this fill in almost like a pyramid. And right now we've got gaps along the way that need to be filled in. These are price gaps. And so there's a big gap right here between the prices of 11,005 and 13,000. And that's fortunately the direction we're heading. But what is probably going to happen is we're going to play a little game here. Again, this is just my conspiracy theory, that we just the market plays a little game with us. And price is just maybe slowly climbing up to fill in that gap a little bit more, or it could slowly come down and fill in this gap down here. So it's kind of hard to say direction the market will take right now, but That's my theory. And I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's important to know that, Bitcoin doesn't just operate on its own. It's not a being. There's thousands and
Right.
thousands of things, news, whales, uh, I imagine Wall Street influencing things that are being posted on the media to try and drive price down or up based on whatever agenda they have set. And so you just have to be aware of this. The good news is, over the long term, nobody stands to benefit if Bitcoin continues to go down.
Exactly.
Plain and simple, that's all it is.
Right.
So I'll kind of end on that and let you guys take from it what you will, but that's my theory on what's been happening. And so we are at kind of a crucial point. I think I'm going to be a little more optimistic and say we're going to go and fill in this range. And then
Okay.
once we do, uh, we'll be at an even more critical point because we can only go one of two ways. It's going to be up or it's going to be down. And so I think people need to just be aware, and the more aware you are, the more emotionally stable you're going to be throughout this whole process.
You give me so much emotional stability, let me just say. I appreciate you very much. This information right here has me just like incredibly excited. I'm like looking at this, learning from the perspective of someone who's informed now, and it feels really empowering. It feels great to get a better understanding of the influence that is happening, that people aren't aware of, that people don't understand. And I have a few questions that I'd like you to speak on. One quick one before I go into the more lengthy ones. The first one is you use terminology pump down. So if you can explain what you meant there in, regular terms, and then what pump and dump means for people who hear these words all the time. I'll ask you here and there to explain to people who aren't familiar with it. So that's the first thing.
Yeah, pump down just means that you've got a lot of selling going on, and it just so much selling that it puts more pressure on Bitcoin to go down because there's an imbalance of buyers and sellers. So it's not that like people are freaking out because they think Bitcoin is bad. It's just when the level of buyers is here, and then all of a sudden there's an imbalance in selling. Basically, we're all holding Bitcoin here because we love it, but you've got people who want to take profits. And so as the sellers come up, the price will shoot down as they sell more and they take profit. And so that's what a dump is. And a pump is exactly the opposite, where where the sellers start to die down and buyers start to force the price back up because they start buying more. And we see those green candles shooting up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. This is like an excellent explanation of all of it. The next question I wanted to ask you was, you are studying these charts, but you're also studying the market. And there's all these different elements that you're aware of, so you can actually make an assessment and give a very, I think, yes, it's an opinion, but it is a very detailed one, very concise, if you ask me. So what would you suggest to the person that just has a few minutes, out of the day to look at the types of things that you look at in depth? Like, what should we all look for when we're limited on time to get proper gauges on these things, aside from obviously tuning into you and the group?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a little hard to say because I know how overwhelming this can be for a beginner.
Mhm.
So, in terms of the technical analysis that I did, it's kind of hard to say I want to point a beginner to doing anything like that because the charts just in itself, without any of those indicators and the news to factor in and Wall Street and all this other stuff, I would say the best thing you can do as a beginner to get a gauge on what's going on is to find some really, really level-headed people to follow, and not just me, but like get on Twitter and find the core developers for Bitcoin, find the core developers for Ethereum, guys that have been in the game a long time, follow them on Twitter, and then see who they follow and interact with. And what'll happen is you'll build up this great group of people that you see posting every day that are very level-headed and handle these situations great. They have all the insider news, and they'll just give you a better overall picture of what's happening in the market, and you'll just feel a lot more comfortable knowing that you don't have to rely on Ian or you don't have to rely on Massimo or Leilani for your news. And as you learn, these guys will teach you things too. I mean, they'll teach you a lot. And then as you follow them and you follow us, you'll become more comfortable. That's really the best thing you can do.
That's great advice. No, that's awesome, because you're really tying yourself into communities, and so you're getting, you know, the advice and the opinions of multiple people, which helps you really get an educated path, you know, for you to go. So this is absolutely fantastic. I'm mesmerized. I'm like, and I work with you every day, and I'm just like, whoa. This is amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm so thankful that we're connected. If I was looking at these charts on my own and not having you and Massimo to talk to about these kind of things, I would lose it. So thank you for that. I just want to say to everybody on here, if you have any last comments or questions, type them in, because right after we finish this live, we're going to go in the chat and answer them for you. And then also I want to say, you know, we're looking to really get the word out and really help a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people out there in the cryptocurrency world that really are just going and buying stuff and they don't know what they're doing. And we would love to be able to help more people. So please get out there and invite people to join this group so they can get more access to this very, very valuable information. I mean, it's extremely valuable, and you guys get it for free right now. So take advantage, share, share, share. And then as far as just a couple announcements next week, because we're doing a Facebook Live twice a week, one on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and one on Thursday at Pacific Standard Time. And it'll either be with myself, Ian, and Massimo, or just myself and one of the guys. Next Tuesday, what Massimo is going to be speaking about is the history of money. So it's fiat currency, cryptocurrencies, all that. He's going to really break it down so you guys have a really good understanding of the entire history of money. So you guys can understand when you're looking at things, more of the background. So as you're going through, navigating through this world, you can have a more of a level head, like Ian was speaking about, and not like be freaking out when there's changes, right? Because as we all know, history does repeat itself. Even though we're in uncharted waters with cryptocurrency, there's still the powers that be that do shape and form things, right? And then lastly, I want to share with you guys, I did post a poll in the group. So we're looking to always be giving you guys the most valuable information in this group that benefits you at all times. So please vote on that poll and let us know what you'd like to see, and then I'll make sure that's what we're providing for you. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Anything you'd like to say before we end the live, Ian, to anyone watching?
No, I would just say, you know, continue to just breathe deeply and just be patient with the market right now. I know that a lot of you guys are worried, and you know, I hope that this video encourages you just to get involved a little bit more in the ways that I mentioned. And I promise you, the more involved you get, and the more you follow us and you learn how to train yourself on what's happening in the markets, the better you feel. It just makes you feel so good understanding technically and fundamentally what's going on, and being a part of a community that shares that info is crucial. So you're in the right place.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Ian. That was amazing. So great. And thank you guys. Thanks for, you know, watching and being part of the group. We absolutely adore you guys, and having an audience to share with means a lot to us as well. So thanks a lot, and you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. We'll see you on Tuesday.